Deep amidst the rapidly developing Fantasia arc, late in the Berserk series, we are delivered an unexpectedly gut-punching yet simply crafted mini-arc for seemingly no reason. The feelings Miura is able to invoke in such a short mini-arc is incredible. But what is the point of this arc? Why did Miura place it where he did? What makes this self-contained piece so emotionally effective? At this point in the manga, Guts has a lot to think about. His journey appears to be drawing near to its end. He is overcome by uncertainty, and muses on the rationale behind his journey thus far. We find these moments inside Guts' head to be rare. It allows us to grow closer and more sympathetic with his character and cause. It often marks a strong turning point or milestone in the story, in this case, the arching of the world tree. This emotional moment with Guts leads us effectively into the arc I wish to talk about today, Spring Flowers of Distant Days. We flash back to a moment in Guts' teenage years, soon to be another pivotal moment. We gather that Guts, who is bound in stocks, has been captured along with other similar prisoners, mercenaries who lost and have been captured. This is essentially the only time we see Guts in a situation like this. He is again questioning his own motives. He doubts himself with his own self-destruction, disregards his own life, wondering why he even means to go on. He hates the meaninglessness of his career occupation. He wants to die, but also can't imagine any other way of living. Behind him, we meet another mercenary, Martino. We come to trust Martino initially. He seems to sympathize with Guts and has an endearing aura. He advises him to keep his footing if he means to survive. Guts, like usual, refuses the old man's help, lashing out when he extends a hand to help him. But when Guts collapses from his injuries, the man protects him from the captor's lashings. He remarks that he shouldn't want to die in a place like this. This obviously resonates with Guts, and ties back to his indifference to death at the beginning of this mini-arc. As Martino helps Guts along, Guts allows himself to be more trusting of the man. He connects with what Martino has to say to him. From him, Guts gets direction. He finds an answer to his question of why he goes on. His lust for purpose that lingers with him throughout the entire tale. As a white hawk passes overhead, Martino remarks that someday all that fighting might lead to someone or people to fight for. That for them, it would be worth putting your life on the line for. This is an important sentiment we can see Guts following throughout nearly the entire manga. Martino, turns out, has a key for the shackles, and uses it to free Guts, who asks him to run with him, a rare case of Guts being selfless. Martino refuses, but as it turns out, Martino was using him as a distraction, and flees while Guts is caught and further injured. We then flash back further to a battlefield situation where Gambino used Guts as a decoy on the battlefield, much like Martino later in his life. Gambino tells him that if he wants to survive on the battlefield, he has to get by on his own brain and skills. He tells him never to trust anyone, not even your own father. Guts reminisces on what Martino said. Somewhere, someday, Guts loathes himself for being swayed by a cliche that doesn't belong on a battlefield, one he should have seen as a trap. And even though he reiterates that he doesn't care where he drops dead, he still makes the effort to catch a nearby rat and eat it to survive. As he curses his desire to live and drifts off to sleep, he sees a small flower in his field of vision. With it, he appears to see a young, tiny girl hiding behind the flower's stem. The next morning, a nobleman enters and explains that his son will be having his first ever battle the next day, that Guts will be offered as his first opponent, and that Guts will die in the fight, intentionally or not. The nobleman tends to his wounds, then leaves, not wanting to provide Guts with food that will supply him energy for the fight. Guts wraps himself back up in the hay, attempting to warm himself and conserve energy. As he begins to doze off, once again he sees the small creature. She begins to move towards him this time, and wakes him. Surprisingly, Guts immediately seems to take a liking to the creature, reassuring it that he won't harm it, and even asks about its flower. This creature is intrigued and introduces itself as Chich, the spirit of the flower. We immediately fall in love with Chich, due to her innocent and inquisitive demeanor. Chich thanks Guts for saving her flower, and asks if he wants anything in return. Her simplistic happiness causes us to empathize heavily with her pure desire to help Guts. Chich does her best to help Guts as much as she can, and takes care of him, even taking leaves from her own flower, which she needs to survive to heal Guts. Though Chich has much enthusiasm for helping Guts, she seems lonely, and has been trapped, forced to endure disturbed humans coming and going. her flower being in the cell she cannot leave. Chich remarks that even the sun, or Popo as she calls it, comes and goes. When it comes, she knows darkness will follow. Guts says she is his weakness in the form of a kid. Chich too hopes for a reason to live, or to have something or someone to care for. Guts remembers a hill of flowers much like hers and promises to take Chich and her flower there. Guts once again sympathizes with someone. On the exterior, and for the vast majority of the manga, we're shown a hard, cynical, sometimes downright cruel person. But moments like this show us that deep down Guts is a good person, despite how he appears. He continues to trust and sympathize with people despite everything, and despite his own preconceptions. Chich is overjoyed and heals Guts throughout the day as he sleeps. But due to her excitement, Chich picks all her leaves, leaving a wilting flower. When Guts wakes, he calls out to her, to no answer. But intending to keep his promise, he takes the flower with him as he is taken into battle. Despite the fact that Guts is still obviously extremely worn down, he fights to the best of his ability. His still unwavering determination to live seemingly reinvigorated, as well as his dedication to delivering Chich's flower causes him to keep fighting. As Guts fights, his top priority seems not to be himself or his well-being, but ensuring that he keeps his promise. Panels where Guts fights tooth and nail for the flower, seeing his genuine concern, shows just how much it means to him, making it all the more easy to sympathize. He wants Chich to have the opportunity to find someone, to find meaning the way he wants to. He doesn't even care when offered compensation when Martino shows up again, coincidentally to end the battle. When Guts arrives at the field and delivers a flower, he wonders if Chich will find her friends. Accompanied by extremely poignant and emotional illustrations, we feel truly connected with Guts. The somberness, selflessness, passion, and desperation so carefully curated will always stick with me. The Spring Flowers of Distant Days arc in Berserk stands out as a deeply intimate and symbolic exploration of Guts' inner world. Miura plays this mini-arc strategically amidst the intense Fantasia arc to offer readers a moment of emotional reflection, juxtaposing the brutality of the world Guts inhabits with a fragile yet powerful message of survival and hope. The contrast between Guts' harsh exterior and his moments of tenderness and vulnerability emphasizes the complexity of his character, allowing readers to see beyond his violent facade. This arc is not just about survival in the physical sense, but a reflection of Guts' emotional journey. Martino and Chich symbolize two vastly different aspects of human interaction: selfish manipulation and pure, selfless kindness. Martino's betrayal echoes the recurring theme in Guts' life that trust can lead to pain, while Chich embodies innocence, care, and an almost childlike belief in promises. The fact that Guts, who has every reason to be cynical and detached, honors his promise to Chich shows that beneath the armor of a battle-hardened mercenary lies a man still capable of kindness and empathy. Guts has been knocked down time after time, being betrayed by those he trusts. This makes him giving Chich his all, and losing that person, not knowing if she was ever real, that much more heartbreaking. Chich's small yet powerful presence highlights that even the briefest and most fragile connections can leave a lasting impact.